So then, the season is over, and it wasn't a bad season. Before we move on to the next one, we need to look back at what worked, what didn't work, what players were great, what players weren't great, and so on and so forth. This is the season review episode. If you didn't like it, if you don't like that sort of thing, well, you can skip on to the next episode where the new season will start. That's coming on Friday. Until then, you get me, you get this. Hit the intro. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Revitalising Villa. This is episode number 24 and this episode is going to be a little bit different. There's no football to be played really, it's the end of the season and we are going to look back on what's been a very, very good season on the whole. There have been some shocking results, good and bad I suppose, but I would say I'm very, very pleased with the season. We've literally just finished, I've just finished recording the last episode. That Chelsea loss, it still hurts a little bit. We'll send an assistant to this. I'm not bothered about press conferences. We've been given 14.87 million for finishing third, and a bonus of 800k has been handed out. So this episode is going to be a little bit different. It's a little bit streamy in a way, in a sense of I'm just going to be doing things and talking things and just going along with it. There's no specific set plan, which there usually is for the other ones. Financially, we are in a very good way after last season. £25 million in the pink overall in the balance, which is good to see. That should rise as well over the summer. The transfer budget probably will go up over the summer as well, which should be good. Next season, I think at the moment, depending on what transfers I bring in, of course, I'm looking at a mid-table finish in terms of my aim. I want to bump it up again and get some more money. I want to challenge myself. We should be getting mid-table next year. Good mid-table as well. I'm looking 10th, 9th, 8th at the very least. I'm hoping for more. Depends what transfers I bring in, of course. But this season then, let's have a look through the fixture list. And after a good pre-season, it was that shocking start. It wasn't good, was it? The West Brom and Bournemouth losses hurt. Gillingham and Stoke, good to get back into the swing of things. But again, lost to Southampton. It was a bad loss there. The Liverpool result for me was a turning point. That Lewis Baker penalty was a real turning point. Because I think there was a belief that I had for this squad that suddenly lit up with this. Yes, we lost to Man United, but it was okay, I can deal with that. A 1-0 loss. A good win against Middlesbrough. I'm not talking about that Leicester result, not happening. A good win against Wolves too. We were beating the sides around us. I've said it many times and it's worked out for us. We crashed out the Carabao Cup, fair enough, not a problem. But if you look at this Premier League result, a good 0-0 draw with Man City. Very happy with that. Wins over Swansea and Burnley. Brighton too. We went on a bit of a sticky patch there over the Christmas time. We did go on a bit of a sticky patch, but we bounced back with a very good run there. Once the yellows start turning into greens, all of a sudden the draws don't really matter too much. That's a very good unbeaten run, including another draw with Liverpool, a win over Southampton away, which is a fantastic result, especially at the end of the season. That's a bad run of form as well. Those three results were hard to take, but we beat Tottenham in the FA Cup 5th round, beat Wolves again. A 1-0 loss to Man City, but that Arsenal result was our result of the season, without a shadow of a doubt. What a result that was. I wish I'd have got that on camera. Beat Stoke as well, and then the end of the season was a bit patchy. It was very, very patchy, really. But there's lots of greens there, and if you look at the league table, the one thing I'm actually disappointed with is that we lost more than we won. I think that's something that, as a side that's going to grow gradually in the Premier League, we have to try and fix next year. I want to win more than we lose. If we draw loads, then so be it, but I want to win more. We need to be harder to beat, and we're not. If you look at the sides that we're going to be looking to be around, the likes of Southampton and Leicester, a lot less losses, particularly for Southampton. Leicester is on the same sort of level, but Watford only lost 9 times this season. Those are the teams that we need to challenge. And I think a part of that is improving the defence, particularly at the fullback positions, which is something that could happen. The person who made the most starting appearances for us this year was in fact John Souttar, a man who's had a very, very good season. His stats haven't really improved too much, but they are pretty good in its own right. His value's still at 4.8 million. He's a lot better than his stats say for me. 35 appearances in the league. It's 40 in all appearances, including sub appearance in the league, of course. 2 goals, 2 assists, that's fine. But he was a very, very good player for us, I think. An average rating of 6.77, not bad considering he played so many games. I think 7.75 million, his value in that might not suggest it, but to me, he's paid it back for the season and a half that he's had at the club. Second on the list of appearances is Lewis Morgan, a man who is only getting better and better, and for me, he is a real star of this save. If you look at those stats, he has been very, very good. His value has skyrocketed too. He's at 13 million now. And when you consider we signed him on a free, that's an incredibly good piece of business. 35 appearances, only the 2 goals in the league, which is slightly disappointing. 3 overall, he got a goal in the cup competitions. I think he needs to add more goals to his game. I would agree with that. But 9 assists are very good and 2 player of the matches. He's been good on an average basis in the sense of he will consistently put in decent performances. Speaking of consistency, Conor Hourihane is third on that list, valued now at £10 million. He's getting better despite being at his peak 28 years of age. I think he's a good player for us next year, and he's going to be an experienced head for us. He's been very, very good for us. 6.95 rating, 7 assists, 32 appearances. No goals in the league, which is quite weird, considering he got 5 in the championship and he scored a lot of goals throughout his career. No goals at all. Maybe I've been playing him in a different position than he's used to. One man I do want to make note of is Jamie Hansen. This kid has had a very good season, 23 years of age. His stats aren't really improving too much, but they are quite good for what they are, and he's been better than that. He's valued now at £7.75 million. We brought him in, of course, for that 4.5, which seemed expensive at the time, but despite a bad first season, well, not bad first season, but an average first season, he's had a very good second season for me. 24 appearances, 2 goals, and 1 player in the match, a 6.96 rating, which is a very good sort of average rating. And he's consistently, if you look at his form, consistently around that 7 mark. I mean, the Everton results are an anomaly because everyone played bad, but 6.9 against Chelsea despite us getting stuffed. 8.3 against West Ham with a goal, 7.7, 6.8, 7, 7, 7s, 7 and 7. There's lots of 7s across the board. 7.3 against Wolves all the way back there. He's been a very, very good player for us. He's had lots of 7 ratings. Finally, our goalkeeper deserves a mention. Pierluigi Gallini. He's very, very good stats wise. He's a very good goalkeeper, and I think he's been good for us. 45 conceded in 26 appearances isn't actually a bad return, to be fair, but the problem he's got in those 26 appearances, he's only kept 4 clean sheets in the league. That's the biggest problem. He concedes 1 every sort of game. It may only be 1, and that's fair enough, but he does concede. I did not know this, but Pierluigi Gallini used to play for Manchester United. Fascinating. That is fascinating. Our top goal scorer, Jonathan Kodjia. He's had another good season. He's had a season where, to be honest, I thought he would get pushed out, and he hasn't been. 33 appearances again in the league. 15 goals, not as many, of course, but this time it's in the Premier League, so that's a good return. He's got 15 goals. I'm happy with that. Only the 3 assists. He got 14 in the same sort of role last year, but we have changed tactics a little bit more. So I can forgive that. 2 player of the matches. He's just been very good. 17 goals in all competitions with the 2 cup goals. He's been very good, and he will be with us next year. Whether he's a starter, I don't know yet, but I'm very, very happy with what he's done for this club. Special mention to the 2 young strikers, and of course the one that was renamed we'll go with first, and that's Deadpool. He's a 2.5-star player at the moment, but his potential is a 5-star, and he's improving across the board. His determination's gone down, which is a little bit weird. Physically, he's looking very good. 16 pace has improved, strength has improved, balance has improved, his finishing's improved a hell of a lot as well. And if you look at his stats for the season, 14 appearances, 17 altogether, 7 goals. 7 in 17 isn't a bad return for a player that's very, very, very young. 6.94 rating. He's got an assist and a player of the match too. I think he could be very, very good. Backing that up, of course, is Mikel Sego. Again, a player that's improving at 18 years of age. He's finishing 16, dribbling 15, first touch 15 are the main points to him. His physicals are getting better too. I think if you look at his stats as well, it's not quite as good as Deadpool's. Less games, of course, but 13 appearances and 5 goals. Still a very, very good return. More assists this time, 3 assists. And a 6.96 rating. These are 2 men that could force themselves as big, big players for us next season. And of course, the thing to note is Mikel Sego valued at £600,000 at the moment. We brought him in for £750,000. His value will skyrocket next season. I'm certain of it. Meanwhile, Deadpool is valued at £450,000 and we brought him in for £500,000. Again, I see it skyrocketing. So even if we do have to get rid of them, I can see us getting £4 million for each. Easily. Looking at assists, a man we haven't mentioned is Lewis Baker, sitting there on 6 assists. He's had a very good season, 9 goals as well. He's been a very good goal scorer for us. Hourihane and Morgan lead the way with 9 assists each. I'm surprised to see Hourihane so far up there, actually. I'm not surprised to see Morgan. I wanted a little bit more from Morgan. But for a mid-table side, it's not bad at all, really. And if we look at the average rating, Lewis Baker has been our player of the year in terms of consistency, a 7.15 rating. Conor Hourihane and Jamie Hansen backing him up. I said Jamie Hansen's had a good year. A 7 average rating is very, very good. Conor Hourihane 7.3 or 7.03. Michel Sego is there. He hasn't played as many games, of course. Albert Adoma has had a consistently good season, which is good to see. Deadpool down there. Lewis Morgan, Jonathan Codger. Surprised to see the likes of Berke Bjarnason and Jason Denayer, but again, they haven't played as many games, just like Deadpool. But the men that have played well, you can see where the spine of the team is coming from, can't you? The likes of Baker, Hourihane, Hansen, Adoma to a point as well, Morgan, Codger, Galini, Chester. You can see the spine. John Souttar as well, backing that up. You can see the spine of the team. I don't know how many times I need to say it, but you can see the spine of the team. It may change next year, though. If we flip it on the other way and look at the players that haven't really performed, ignore the first 3 there. Jack Doyle-Hayes is out on loan, and Nen and Walter Gonzalez haven't really played too much. Walter Gonzalez is going to be a player next year, though. Lewis Moulton, Ali Crawford top up the list. 2 men that I was very excited about at the start of the year. From Scotland, brought them in. I was excited, but they haven't performed. Lewis Moult, he's what? 13 appearances, 0 goals, 1 assist. Ali Crawford, the same, 1 goal, 0 assists. If anything, even if it was the other way around, I'd feel a little bit better about it, but it just hasn't been good enough from them two. Underneath that, Andre Green and Jack Grealish, 2 men I've spoke about in the last couple of episodes, and I'm really unsure what to do. Jack Grealish, for me, he looks like he'll be out the door. Valued at 3.9 million. If I can get 3 million for him, I'll be happy. He just hasn't been good enough. He had a pretty good season last year, but in the Premier League, he hasn't quite cut the mustard, which is a shame. Andre Green as well then. Again, his stats are pretty good and he's improving, so I'm tempted to give him another year. I really am. He hasn't quite hit the mustard again, but I'm tempted to give him 1 more year. Another man down there is Joe Bryan. His stats are pretty good. He's played a lot this year at a 6.66 rating, no goals, and only 1 assist, which I thought he'd have more for. I don't think he's been quite the signing I expected him to be when he originally signed. It's a shame. He's been consistently average, is probably the best way to put it, and I think a new left back might be a position we look at. Another fullback down there is Gregory van der Wiel. Hasn't played as many times as I think he would have wanted to, 12 appearances, but that's because his ratings just haven't been good. He could be on his way out. Another man on his way out possibly is Patrick Van Arnold, Andy King, James Bree as well. James Bree is an unknown one to me. He's improving very, very well. I don't know if he'll be on his way out this year. He might stay one because he isn't a bad average rating, to be fair. 6.73, 2 assists, 1 player of the match as well. He'll get another year, but I may bring in new fullbacks, first choice either side. If we look at the hierarchy though, as you'd expect, it's the captain and the vice captain, the 2 team leaders, and Jonathan Codger are also there. 3 men who have been influential for what we've done over the past 2 years. Also there, Adoma, Baker, Johnson and Bjarnason. I'm surprised to see Bjarnason up there. He's a man that could be on his way out, to be honest with you. His stats aren't bad, but 30 years of age, I think we can get better. And if I can get 6 million for him, I would be very, very happy. I'm surprised that someone like James Bree is still just another player. Sego's there. Andre Green as well. I thought he would be a little bit more. Andre Green's just been a disappointment so far, hasn't he? If we look at the team report then, at the end of the season, statistically, we are the best shooters, apparently. One of the best shooters. Lewis Baker is a fantastic player. Lewis Morgan's a good player as well. We have youth prospects. Russian Hepburn Murphy. See, this is the thing. 20 years of age, I just don't think he's good enough for the Premier League. 3-star potential ability. He will be leaving. I'm sorry, but he will be leaving. But James Hill and Reece Kumba are 2 people I'm going to look to loan out next year and see how they do. Wage budget is plenty, and Joe, top scorer, blah, blah, blah. Lots of defensive depth, apparently, but that could change. If we look at the weaknesses, though, passing completion has been bad. We are 19th out of 20 in terms of passing, so we need to improve our passing. That could be with a tactic where we bring in short passing. That could work. We are also 19th to second bottom in the goals conceded. Again, we need to keep more clean sheets. 17th in tackling. My tackling has been poor. That's a surprise to me. But tackling has been poor. We lack quality depth in goal and at centre back apparently, and at right wing back. I'd agree with those 2, but I think we've got 2 very good goalkeepers. We lack quality decision making. I'd agree with that. There are a lot of times we've just given the ball away for no reason. Work rate, okay. See, there are a lot of things we need to improve here, isn't there? There's a lot of things we need to improve, including our away form. And this is the Aston Villa overall best 11 squad, which is of the saves, so of the two seasons, of course. And this is what they've got. They've got a 4-2-3-1, which isn't something I've played often, to be honest. Well, no, I did last year, to be fair. I got a lot of results with it, so fair enough. Johnston, Bree, Chester, Sutar. That's fair enough. I can agree with that. Taylor at left back. I'm not sure. Not sure about that. Hurahan and Baker, fair enough, I agree with that. Morgan, Snodgrass and Adoma, again, I'd agree with that. And Codger up front, of course. The subs are a bit weird. Gleany, yes. Hansen, yes. Brian, okay. Bjarnason, Andre Green, really. Fede Varela, really. Lys Mousset. I can agree with Lys Mousset. Where is Lys Mousset right now? He's still at Bournemouth. We don't need strikers. We don't need strikers. Okay, the end of season awards then, and the fans player of the season was Lewis Baker. Not surprising, Conor Hurahan and Jonathan Codger come second and third. Goal of the season was Lewis Baker against Arsenal. I'll show you it in a minute. It was a weird goal. Baker's signing of the season. When you consider we picked him up for a meagre 4.36 million, he's had a very good season. Young player of the season too. Stats-wise, again, we've looked at these. But most player of the awards, Lewis Baker again. Worst discipline, we've had Codger, Bree and Hansen get sent off. Let's take a look at that Lewis Baker goal. This, of course, came during that fantastic 5-2 victory against Arsenal. But this is just one of those goals that only happens in FM. Well, no, it does happen in real life, but very rarely. I wouldn't call it our goal of the season either. Not at all. I think we've scored better. The goal that Hansen scored against West Ham, for example, in the last episode is better to me. But here it is in 3D. It's just poor goalkeeping, isn't it? I mean, it is. It's just poor goalkeeping. A rare 3D as well. A rare 3D. We were tipped to be relegated, but we finished 13th. Lost in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. A good result there. And lost to Man City in the Carabao Cups. The cup competitions, we were pretty good. Average attendance, 40,000. That's pretty good. 94% full. Total player used 28, which is the joint 5th highest. Match of the season, Wolves. No, I wouldn't agree with that. It would be the Arsenal result. And a moment to forget, yes, that Everton 6-1, I would agree with that. Or the Leicester result, one of them. Seeing as the average attendance is so high, I wonder if I can get the club to improve the stadium. That would be interesting. Expand it. Increase our revenue. No. Fair enough. I thought I'd try. The board are very pleased with the overall leadership of the team. They're also aware that some of the fans are disappointed with the performances of James Bree. That's quite a shock to me, actually. That is quite a shock. I'm surprised at that. And with the pre-season start date set to be decided, I'm going to leave the episode right there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end to the episode. A different sort of episode. No games, of course. The status quo will return on Friday with a brand new season. Brand new players. Let's see what comes next season. If you enjoyed this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop me a comment. Let me know exactly what you think about the season so far, or your own opinions on some of the players that we can build bridges and build bonds with. Until next time, until Friday, from me to you. Goodbye.